What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for TheLines.com. Talk some Monday Night Football. San Francisco 49ers, Arizona Cardinals over in Mexico City. Joined by Mo Nawara. Very happy to have him here. He wrote the article you see on your screen right here over at TheLines.com. Of course, everything we do, absolutely free, this article included. So while you're here, go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below. Give us a thumbs up and then let us know in the comment section how you are going about this. Mo, one of the things we do know kind of heading into this deal was there were some injury concerns. And when you wrote the article, this thing was sitting at 8. We get the news come out on Monday morning that it looks like it's going to be Colt McCoy. It looks like it's going to be DeAndre Hopkins out on the field. Now, in what capacity, we don't really know. Wide receivers and hamstring injuries don't typically work out all that great. We also do know from a Cardinals side of things that Zach Ertz is out for the season in this one. So we've seen this thing move to 10 now, 10 in favor of the 49ers with a total of 43 and a half. When you were kind of writing the article and doing your research, were you assuming no Murray? Were you assuming that DeAndre Hopkins was going to play?
Definitely thought Hopkins was going to play. Kyler definitely seemed like he was a complete toss-up. And I think the market definitely thought that as well, because we see the line move 2 points. So we can kind of assume there was at least some chance expected by the market that Kyler was going to play, which I think is reasonable. It definitely didn't seem like there was like a major lean either way. Honestly, if I had to guess, I would have thought he would have played just because it seemed like he was on the border last week and he didn't play. So I would have thought with an extra week of rest, he would have got in there.
So now this thing's sitting double digits. One thing we do know, San Francisco defense, pretty elite in almost every category that you look at. I mean, you and I and everybody really at the lines, love advanced statistics. And if we go down, I mean, DVOA, they're 8th overall. Pro Football Focus likes them as well. They have them 5th overall. No real weakness, pass defense, run defense. They're getting defensive EPA, defensive success rate, all of these things. They're, if not top 5, certainly top 10 in the NFL. Pressure rate, 4th overall in the NFL. Early down success, they're stopping people as well. I guess my question to you is with Colt McCoy at quarterback, and let's just assume health with DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, if they're going to play him, we just have to kind of assume health or something like that. Do you expect there to be some sort of offensive moving of the ball against this San Francisco defense by the Cardinals?
Not really. Just mainly the pass rush thing. I just, it's interesting because like PFF likes their pass blocking work, but then when you look at the injury report, DJ Humphries is out. Max Garcia, the center, he's banged up. Just a bunch of not great things on this injury report, to be honest, for the Cardinals. A lot of their linemen were banged up last week too, so I don't know who is close to 100% in that situation. And then you have 49ers pass rush that is, I'm seeing 3rd in pressure rate on Pro Football Reference, and that's with, a middle of the pack blitz rate. So, they're just winning up front. And either way, I honestly thought the Cardinals offense was probably in some trouble because Kyler Murray, while he can escape and run for some yards, he's not always the most aware in the pocket. And I would say I would kind of expect something similar from Colt McCoy here. I know he's done well overall as a backup, but yeah, I don't know how they're going to be able to move the ball really. I thought maybe if Marquise Brown came back, that would definitely help because they did lose Zach Ertz. But it just really seems like it's a 2-man show there with Moore and Nuck. And when you don't have good pass pro, and I'm just really skeptical of what this offense can do. So I guess with the way the Cardinals defense has been a little better in recent weeks, I guess I'm kind of wondering about under 43. If I had to make a wager on this game, I think that's what I would pick.
Yeah, I am. So full disclosure, if you listen to our, big pod on Sunday, guys, I mean, that I have teasers rolling into this game. So I have 3 different teaser legs rolling into this game, but that was when it was sitting at 8. I could take it down to 2. That's obviously not the case anymore as we sit at 10. So let's say, hey, Mo, I'm going to give you a free 100 American dollars and you have to put it on one side or the other. Are you taking the 10 here with Colt McCoy and the Cardinals, or do you think the 49ers really and truly kind of start to hit their stride a little bit more and this thing could be one-way traffic?
I think if you absolutely made me, I would take the 10.
Yeah.
Just because I do like under. And when you have less points, it's going to be harder to cover double digits. And we've seen so many double-digit favorites struggle this year in the NFL. Double-digit favorites have really been one of the worst subset of bets in the league this year. So it's just hard to be that much better than another NFL team. But I couldn't say this with any conviction, honestly, on the Cardinals. But yeah, I think if I like the under, I have to take the Cardinals in that situation.
Yeah, I also have a lean towards the under and a lean towards taking the points, mainly because if you look at San Francisco, right? I mean, it's one of those deals where Eli Mitchell's back. They have McCaffrey now. They really seem like they don't want to throw with Jimmy G all that much as it is anyway, and keep things kind of like close to the vest, close to the line, high percentage throws, short stuff, and things like that. And so with all that all kind of tends to lean me towards, keeping it within a 10, keeping it within whatever. And I always like bring this up when it's these big double-digit spreads, right? It's like, you could be up 17 points, right, in the fourth quarter or whatever, and it's like you get a garbage score. And yeah, so for me, I think it's taking the 10 too, but also a pretty good lean. I want to pull up some props here because you mentioned George Kittle in your article, and that was one of the things that when I was researching this game, I also saw for whatever reason, the Cardinals are like horrible against tight ends. Like, I don't know why that is the case here. Now, it has crept up a couple of yards. It was at 41.5 even just earlier this morning, sitting at 43.5 as people can see on their screen right now as far as that goes. Lots of mouths to feed, obviously, for the 49ers, but I guess if there's one kind of consistent dude that would set himself apart here and given the matchup, maybe it would be Kittle.
Yeah, they have a lot of speed at linebacker for the Cardinals. So it's interesting they've been so bad. You have to kind of wonder if it's a coaching issue at that point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 45.5 is a pretty palatable number, I would say. Definitely has not been an exciting season for George Kittle. He has not been as productive as I or definitely the fantasy markets expected. Brandon Ayuk maybe taking a little bit more of the slice of the offense. Some other props, I'm Christian McCaffrey, 62.5 rushing. That seems a little bit high since given how much they tried to work in Elijah Mitchell. I would maybe look at an under there just because it really does seem like they want to split up the work there, and maybe understandably so. I mean, the last couple of years haven't been the best health-wise for McCaffrey, so could definitely see Mitchell getting another solid, 15-plus carries here.
Yeah, you can find a 65.5 out there in the market at PointsBet, so certainly something to look at there. One of the other ones I wanted to ask you, and this is one of the ones I'm actually on, and get to kind of get your thoughts here, but so since McCaffrey got there, and then now Kittle is healthy, and Ayuk seems to have a much bigger role in all of this, and if we think it's going to be an under, and if we think whatever, 4.5 receptions for Deebo Samuel to me seems like a little high, and I went ahead and played the under on the 4.5 receptions for him. One, his target share got like cut in half since McCaffrey's been there. Now, again, small sample size, but still his target shares cut in half. They seem to really want to work Ayuk far more into this offense. We just talked about Kittle, and maybe if you play matchup-based offense here, it's a really good matchup for tight ends against the Cardinals. And again, if we think that, Eli Mitchell worked in a little bit more in his second week back, and you do have McCaffrey, I don't know, 5 catches for Deebo here with so many mouths to feed and everything that's going on. I mean, even Juwan Jennings, like, it's getting 2 or 3 catches a game. Seemed like a lot, so I went ahead and played the under on that.
Yeah, I would think usually an under on a premium player like Deebo but I'm usually trying to play these after they have some big games. And he's really been kind of tailing off in terms of, like you said, what kind of percent of the opportunities he's been getting in their offense. It's like pretty crazy to see, just staring at the board right now on DraftKings. It's pretty crazy to see Brandon Ayuk with a higher yards receiving total than Deebo Samuel. I mean, that is just wild to be looking at. So, 4.5, I would think under would be my lean as well there, just based on how they've been running the offense lately. And the fact that we do maybe think George Kittle might be getting some extra opportunities here. And yeah, I also in general think maybe fewer opportunities for throwing the ball in general in this game. Like you were saying, I was looking at Garoppolo under 32.5 passing attempts seems a little bit high in a game where they are double-digit favorites.
Yeah, so if we wanted to build, and I try to do this like in these, look, we always do the caveat. Yeah, they don't pay out exactly the same, whatever. But I know a lot of people want to play same game parlays, whatever. So if we were going to try to put one together and we were kind of telling the story that we were kind of talking about here with everything, I mean, we could play the Cardinals at, plus 10.5 because they give you like the alt lines or something, just so that we don't push on the 10 if we like taking the points, and kind of the other stuff that we've just really explained along the lines here. If we wanted to take an under on, McCaffrey rushing yards at 62.5, and then if we wanted to come in with some Kittle stuff on the receiving end of things, I mean, like we could get some fairly interesting numbers with, all of these things going on. So again, like I think if you play with some of these different alt lines that you can get and alt totals that you can get and just kind of tell the story, I mean, that's kind of the main thing with all this, right, Mo, is like just making sure that you're telling the story that you want to tell in the game and not kind of contradicting yourself as you're trying to build one of these things.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always, when I'm like looking for these in the articles and stuff, trying to find like a game script that makes sense and different things that would happen in that game script. And then maybe throw in like one thing that you think might be kind of out of left field and have a negative correlation that would boost your price there. And then you don't need as much crazy stuff to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, just little things that we were saying. If we took the Cardinals, took an under on Christian McCaffrey, we'd like the George Kittle stuff. And then even if you threw in, like you were saying, just one other type deal, you can end up getting, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 1, something like that on those, depending on how wacky you wanted to get. If you want to put in anytime touchdown score or something like that, even if you just said Eli Mitchell punches one in from the 2 or something like that, and then it brings that same game parlay up to plus 850. So again, just kind of play around with it, and again, just tell the story of the game that you want to tell. But again, Mo's article over here, over on the lines, absolutely free. You can see it on the screen right there. So head over there, take a look. Upper right-hand corner is the Discord button. So please do that. Get in there, have some live chats with everybody about not just the NFL, but we got stuff going on with college basketball. Of course, everyone will be talking every single sport throughout the course of the season. And good luck on all your bets here on Monday Night Football.